Hey everybody, welcome back. Repentance. It's been a bit. 5 wins in a row. Really? That doesn't seem like me. I felt like we had some negativity in our last episode, but that was 6 days ago. I don't quite recall. I guess we won, but I complained. Let me guess. No damage. It's just because I complain about it all the time doesn't mean I'm wrong, but I could probably be a little bit less entitled about it. Yeah, there's some truth to that, I assume. Early on in today's run, how am I feeling? Feel like we got roughly average, maybe even a little bit below average stats, but Robo Baby 2.0, as much as it's, not really like a stellar item, it can do some work for you in the early game. It's a nice friend to have. You'd rather have it in your corner than in the opponent's corner. I don't think there's a doubt about that. Akeldama, I really don't know what to do with it. Guess I'm never disappointed to have it necessarily, but I'm also like, I don't really know what you do. What is it you'd say you do around here? I get that when we kill enemies, we get, is this correct? We get little tears that follow us, but what do those tears do? Nobody knows. Science is still working on coming up with an answer. I am not sure that they're even close. They got bigger problems to solve right now. And how am I doing? I'm doing well. It's a Wednesday. Yeah, sure, why not? Wednesday's a good day. Why is it a good day? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's Survivor Day. Don't even at me, by the way. I know, as soon as you watch one reality TV show, even if it's an hour a week, people think that becomes your whole personality. And yet you watching 8 hours of Hunter x Hunter every week is don't define me by that. That's just a thing that I do. That's just a thing that I watch. I'm not, just because I watched 8 hours of One Piece this week, that doesn't mean that's my personality. Look, I'm watching 1 hour of Jeff Probst a week, okay? I'm watching a little adult obstacle course. If you got a problem with that, so be it. But you know what? For an hour a week, you could understand the bits. You could join in on the conversation. 2 Ace of Diamonds? Give me a minute here. Magician, nobody cares. Moon, I care. Even for only 3 cents, I'm okay with that. We also got a luck upgrade out of it. Now, I think the right play here, what is this other one? High Priestess. The right play here is you're going to take 1 Ace of Diamonds, and this is how committed I am to doing things properly, except for that soy milk pickup. We got 1 HP. Guess what? Now it's a penny. I walked all that way for a penny. Then we take another Ace of Diamonds with us, and we buy something from the shop on the next floor. And honestly, as far as booster packs go, I guess we gotta recall that essentially we got a little bit of money and a luck upgrade. That's not that good. But at the same token, by booster pack standards, it's not that bad. So I don't know whether to complain or what. I don't know whether to kill you or kiss you, But I like where we're at. I'm willing to spend a heart here. It's a little risky, of course, but I'm willing to spend. Ace of Diamonds on a big room will crush for us. I would say don't get greedy. One of these shots is going to hit, man. Just like this. Come on. I would say don't get greedy on the Ace of Diamonds, because if we just use it on this room, we would have gotten 6 cents. Big frickin' whoop. I'm holding out for Moby Dick. I'm holding out for the mother load. It's this room. 5 cents. Oh, man. That's good stuff. Okay, give me a bomb. That was the lowest yield big room. It should have been the one that had 17 flies on it. Give me a bomb, bomb. Camouflages the player randomly and can be used to open the home door. Sure. Enemies appear to be confused. This is a time when I wouldn't want that. I would love it if you would just, make your way through the Chamber of Secrets here. Holy cow, that could have gone worse. But I'm feeling good. I got no complaints. Man, this would have been a killer Ace of Diamonds room, huh? What that? Oh, we got Succubus. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So we want a bomb. We want a key. We want to go to our shop. This would have been another nice Ace of Diamonds room. I guess Succubus isn't really that good when you have soy milk. I know we only have it from Monster Manuel, but at least it's something, right? Yeah, I'm doing well. Daylight savings. in the United States of America, they announced that they're going to be leading to permanent daylight savings starting November 2023. Honestly, allow me to make a bit of a boomer joke. It might seem like that's very far away, but enacting something very simple within 2 years is actually like basically lightning speed by government standards. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm not necessarily looking forward to 8:15 a.m. sunrises in the wintertime, but you take the good with the bad. Maybe you get an 8:15 a.m. sunrise, sure, but you're going to have like a 5 p.m. sunset. That's a little bit better. I can live with this. And then on top of that, not having to change your clocks, even though it's like, I think people kind of gaslight themselves. They're like, oh, it's just 1 day or 2 days a year where you got to change your clock. It's not that big of a deal. That's true. Like, it's not like, you know, you have to cut off a finger every 6 months. But just because it's like not that hard to do doesn't mean it's worth doing, you know? Like, dusting the top of my entertainment center is a very easy chore to accomplish. That doesn't mean I do it every time I clean the house, you know, or ever. I don't really care if it's dusty up there. That's why we got air filters. That's why we got HEPA filters. I'm not going to use Monster Manuel yet. And I'm not going to take the deal with the devil. I'm tempted to do so because I want a damage injection. But I always regret it. I always end up feeling better we took the deals with the angel. It's just a little bit of like delayed gratification. You are toasted. You're not toasted? You're toasted. Okay, a speed upgrade, just what the doctor ordered, and we're heading down. So I am excited by that, because, I mean, I don't live in America, right? So you might be wondering why I would be excited that America did it. Well, Canada was kind of pushing the can down the road. At least BC was like, well, we'll do it when, like, we want to do it. We know that people want permanent daylight savings, or they want daylight savings to, you know, be a never thing. I don't know. What's permanent non-daylight savings? Permanent normal time? Permanent standard time, I guess, would be the answer. But, help. By the way, I guess this is kind of a moot point right now, but daylight savings, bad name. Because daylight savings time starts in the spring. When your daylight doesn't need to be saved, that's when you should be spending daylight. That's why I always get so confused. Daylight savings time ends in the winter time. That's when you need to save your daylight. That's why I always thought that October was when daylight savings started, was because that's when the days are getting a little bit shorter. But instead, daylight savings is when the days are getting longer. It makes, I guess you want to save during those, you know, those salad days, but, okay, hold on. This is very important. That's still really good, even if it's not what I wanted right now. That's still great. Anyway, we kicked the can down the road here in Canada, and I'm not mad about it. Like, it really would be annoying. Okay, that's interesting, too. It would be annoying to have, like, every state that's on the same, like, longitude as us. Every state in the same, you know, roughly north-south corridor. To have them all be off by 1 hour would be confusing. I'm glad we're waiting and hopefully doing it the right way. 2 of clubs, I can get great use out of that immediately. Voodoo head, not so much, but you know what? I'm still feeling good. I'm feeling great. Now we can do this. 2 of clubs, unlimited bombs. Now we're talking. And then I see, you know what? Actually, I was going to say more curse rooms is good with the mind, but that doesn't make sense. What I mean is more secret rooms is good with the mind, but it's not like we have more secret rooms. But anyway, daylight savings time this year, like, it wasn't that bad for me. I adjusted in a couple of days. But it, you know, first off, 2 days, that's still like almost 1% of the year. If it takes you 2 days to get adjusted to something, you know, it's not like it's untenable. It's not like it's unacceptable, but it better be worth it. Like, you can't just be throwing 2 days out here willy-nilly, right? If you can, then why don't you come over and, I don't know, shovel my driveway for me? Might only take you two, well, it was not going to take you 2 days, let me be honest about that, but probably take you a week. I'm just kidding. We park underground. Anyway, I'm going in here now. People are so willing to throw away other people's time, I guess is where that bit was going to go, but let's not worry about it too much. But it's a lot harder when you got a kid as well, because, you know, our kid is not really at the clock using age yet. So, like, one day, she's going to bed at 7:30, the sun is waning, if not down, and she's like, this makes sense. Next day, in her mind, she's going to sleep. She doesn't realize it's the same time according to the clock, but according to her circadian rhythms, which apparently don't matter to the government at all, it's like the sun is just beating down, like it's almost high noon. We got blackout curtains, they're doing Jack you-know-what. She's screaming, like, why are you putting me to bed an hour early? We're like, you don't understand. The way that your body reacts to time is for some reason completely irrelevant in our society. It's only the clock. You gotta pay it. Look, I wouldn't expect you to understand, but this is a sacrifice you have to make so the kids that are a few years older than you don't have to wait in the dark for the bus, or they don't have to walk home from, or if, when they were helping out with their parents on the farm in 1904, they needed it to be light outside when they woke up with, because they would confuse the roosters. Nobody knows why it even happens this way, man. I'm glad we're at least experimenting with getting rid of it. Now that's a dream come true right there. It was just busy work. It's like, you know, it's like that the world was mad. They were like, you don't look busy enough. Hey, why don't you just like change your whole life around by an hour just for fun? It's like when you finish your math assignment a little early and your teacher gives you some word searches. They serve no intellectual purpose, but at the same time, you know, idle hands are the devil's plaything. Okay, try using some golden bombs. We do not want to see a deal with the angel because we already saw a deal with the angel. That hurts, but I'm thankful for the damage upgrade. But anyway, apart from that, I'm doing well, making great progress in Elden Ring. Great game, having a great time with it. Survivor's on tonight, I don't know if I mentioned it. Range down. That is actually a little painful, because our range was already not our strong suit. But Tarot Cloth, on the other hand, we should have hanged man in. That was like, that's a gimme. Tarot Cloth death, though, kind of sick. Yeah, just feeling good, honestly. I might even, and like, this is how we got to work things around in our life. And I don't say this to be like, oh, you wouldn't understand unless you have a kid. I say it out of solidarity for the other parents out there. Because I also, like many of my peers, essentially, whenever people with kids were like, you know, oh, it's really hard for us to, like, you know, have some time to ourselves. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. It's hard for me, too. I have to finish my math assignment. Otherwise, my teacher's going to give me a word search. But it really is tough. So I'm excited. I think we're having a little bit of a date night this Friday. Ooh la la. We'll go see Matt Reeves, the Batman. And eat dinner at a restaurant, perhaps. I'm trying to think of the last time. Well, actually, it was Valentine's Day. It has not been that long since my wife and I had a meal by ourselves at a restaurant. But prior to Valentine's Day... Okay. Excuse me? It was like February 2020. It was when Tyler Toffoli had just joined the Vancouver Canucks, and he's now on like his 7th team from that point onwards, okay? So it had been a bit. It had been a bit. I'm looking forward to it. Even if I fall asleep in the theater because the movie's 3 hours long and we're going after we put our daughter to bed, which happens at around 7:30, and then we're going to eat, which means it's going to be like 8:30, and then we're going to go see the Batman, which means that's going to, I mean, we might not get home till midnight. I normally go to bed around 10:30. Even if I fall asleep, that's going to be a nice night. That's going to be a nice break, okay? I'm looking forward to it. People, I've become much more protective, like defensive maybe is a good way to describe it, in old age. I'm now done taking criticism for whenever I say that I go to bed at 10:30. 24-year-olds. They think they know everything about the world. 10:30? Wow, you're so old. Don't flex. I've been one of you. I know what you're doing with your time. I know why you're not going to bed until 2 a.m. It's a combination of, you know, occasional alcoholic beverage consumption, Netflix, and anxiety. Don't act like, whoa, woo! I like to stay up late and party. I know exactly what your sleep schedule gets screwed up by a variety of, you know, chemical stimuli, and then also the crushing weight of existence. You know, I'm happy to be going to bed at 10:30. I think that's a sanity check. The fact that I can consistently maintain my 10:30 to 6:30 sleep schedule, my 11 to 7 sleep schedule, that's a sign of personal pride, not a sign of me having become domesticated. You're staying up late watching anime. I'm getting up early to crush, you know, a 355-watt Peloton ride. We are not the same, okay? Now, if you're happily staying up late, my quarrel is not with you. It's only with the people who derive their personality from the fact that they stay awake later than is good for them. Those people, you just got served. That's a show, right? About dancing. One of my great passions, dancing. Go ahead, hit me, see if I care. Okay, this run is starting to have a certain je ne sais quoi to it. Can I tell you? Now that I'm a little older, I can start to lean into some of these opinions that I've had for a while that are only becoming of an older man to have. I'm only 33, by the way. I'm old enough to not know who Jake Bon Jovi is, but young enough to know who Millie Bobby Brown is. I'm also young enough to know that they're dating, but not young enough to know where they met, I would say. Anyway, what's the classic old guy stereotype? Get off my lawn. Always, right? People are always like, you're like 1 year away from sitting on your porch with a shotgun. I am not a get off my lawn guy. But the older I get, the more I have started to kind of find myself at least starting to ask questions. And one of the questions is, why are they on his lawn? I mean, it's his lawn. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be able to, you know, be traveled upon by anybody should the need suffice. But at the same time, I don't think it's beyond this hypothetical stereotyped old man to be questioning, why are you on my property? I know how it sounds. It sounds like, you know, I have a sign outside of my house that says, we will shoot trespassers on sight. That's not the case. In fact, last Survivor season, I may have told you about a time there were 3 highly intoxicated young men outside of my house, digging through my bushes. I just watched them for a couple of minutes, and then I went outside and I said, can I help you gentlemen with anything? And then their heads snapped up like, you know, the teacher just said, do you have enough for the rest of us? Did you bring enough for the rest of the class? And it turns out somehow, and again, wow, you're so old. That's probably what they were typing in my chat. I'm so young. I got into like an argument with my friends, and one of them took my phone and threw it into a stranger's bushes. So on my hands and knees at like 10:30 p.m., I had to dig through his bushes. My life is so exciting. You're a mess. You're a damn wreck. Anyway, sorry. I apologize either way, but not worth. Give me a key so I can go to the shop. I did not come out with a loaded weapon or like, you know, a knife from my knife block or something like that. I engaged in the art of discourse. But the reason I came out in the first place was because I was like, what are you guys doing here? I don't want you digging around in my bushes. Not because like I'm proud of the bushes, but because like you shouldn't be doing that. Like I don't want the outside of my house to look all like dirty and disheveled because you're not professional gardeners. Like you don't know what you're doing. It's just kind of like, I mean, it's just kind of ignorant. The older I get, the more I'm like, maybe, why were they on his lawn? You couldn't play softball on your own lawn? What, you played so much softball you got bored by the lawn you were playing it on? Okay. Maybe try a little kickball. Maybe try a little Foursquare. There's an infinite number of games that have been invented. How about Genshin Impact? You don't need to mix it up. You don't need multiple stadiums, okay? That's really the only one I've got. I thought I had more, but I don't. Okay. Take me in. I'm ready. This... Wait, we already... Did we... No, we got hit. That's why we're not going to see a deal with the angel here. I'm not using Monster Man well. This boss is not deserving of it. We will save it for our next floor to make the rest of the floor easier. I do believe... I'm not sure if this is the same for everybody, but I believe you age at different speeds. Not literally. That would be, like, clinical insanity. But, like... The 29 to 30 year, especially I think if you're a little anxious about turning 30, which I like genuinely was not at all. But sometimes people will try to gaslight you into thinking like they're like, oh, are you worried about turning 30? And you're like, no. And then they're like, well, maybe you should be. That's when things start to get it. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think when my body starts to go downhill is when I stop taking care of it. I haven't reached the age where age is the principal factor there yet. I'm still at the age where, like, whatever damage time is doing to my body pales in comparison to the damage that I can do to it via a sedentary lifestyle and poor food choices, okay? Let's not blame Father Time for that. Not yet, anyway. However, I think that year just goes by a little bit faster. That's such a good card, dude. Than the other years. Like, I think there's a perception issue, right? Like, when you turn from 29 to 30, you've entered your 30s. And then you start playing the tape forward. Wow, that means, like, before I know it, I'll be, like, in my 40s. And then, like, when I was 8, 40 was the highest number I could count to. So I've always used that as, like, an anchor for what I thought, like, oldness was. And that's hard for me to deal with. Okay, you hit me. Congrats. But, like, then when you're in your 30s for a bit, you realize, like, 10 years is kind of a long time. Like, I've been in my 30s for a long time, man. I'm 33. I'm not even... I'm barely over a quarter of the way through my 30s. And I've been here forever. Like, a lot of my memories are from this decade. Especially the freshest ones. That's crazy. And I still got like 6.5 years to go or something? What the heck? When I turned 30, it felt like it would be like next week I would be 40. Now it's like, geez. I don't even know. Maybe like next decade. Like literally though. In all ways, including the literal. Can I get some more damage? I know I took soy milk. Don't insult me, okay? Let me go into this boss trap room. Give me a damage upgrade. I'll use the Emperor card. We'll get like a devil deal or something like that. I'll be stoked. You'll be stoked. Everyone will be happy. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I can't enter from that direction. Rude. This game cheeses me off sometimes, man. Why would you block that off? Okay, we don't need to be... There is no need to be upset. I did not mean to be so rude. It was not me. It was my food. It just popped up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below. Austin Powers. I'm trying to save some banter, you know? Because this is like... This could be a long one. We don't know yet. With soy milk, it's always an opportunity, and yet also, like, a problem, right? It's both at once. It's like that Radiohead song, Idiotech. It's everything all the time. We have an old bandage, too. We should be able to play this, like, infinitely. I want the HP. If it goes too far, I'm not going to get it, but I want it. I do not want IV bag. Okay, well, I shouldn't have said it. That's on me. Surely we will get one more key by our boss fight. And I'm just in general, I'm excited. As much as I don't like the time change, or the time changing. Sorry, I'm in my head, I'm workshopping a Bob Dylan bit right now. Come gather round the oven, wherever you roam. All of our non-Wi-Fi The clocks are wrong, 'cause it's March 17th. And the standard time rapidly ended. Better take the clock off the wall and rotate the small hand, 'cause the time it is a change. Okay, I struggled a lot. I struggled mightily. But I feel like we almost eked out a single +2 on that one, okay? As much as I'm annoyed by the time change, or the process of changing the time, I do love a later sunset. I mean, like, it is 3:50 p.m. here right now. Normally not a sunset time, except for, like, when you're in the dog days of winter. But, like, it is blazing out there. Like, it is... I mean, I guess the clocks don't really control the weather, but, like, the sun is is much higher than it was even a week ago at what felt like this time, but was actually not this time. Thank you. So I do like the later nights, especially. It really is like it's a little selfish, right? Like, as long as the sun is rising by the time I wake up, I really don't care if it's rising by the time you wake up. Like, if you have to get up at 5:45 a.m. and you hate when we move the clocks forward for that reason, rip bozo. It's like, I feel for you, but like, I missed the part where that's my problem. Because I get up at, like, you know, 6:37. As long as the sun is starting to rise by then, I'm like, daylight savings time. I much prefer, you know, permanent daylight savings time. Look, it's selfish, but at least it's honest. That's the problem with daylight savings time, is it's dishonest. Nobody ever goes, I like this. Everyone goes, I don't want somebody's kids to have to walk home at dusk. No, you don't give a hoot, man. I've seen your voting record, Congressman. You don't care about the kids at all. Let's just be honest about it, okay? It's because Big Timex gave a juicy check during your campaign, didn't they? Big Daylight Savings Lobby said, excuse me, Senator. Can you, hey, somebody left their briefcase full of Benjamins back there. Any chance you could go back and deposit it in your bank account for me? Don't even try to. I see you. It's about WikiLeaks, okay? Look. Get me out of here. I don't know where this bit's going. Sometimes I get lost in the bit too, and that scares even me. A later sunset is nice because I like to cook dinner in, like, while the sun is going down or still up. And then if I have to eat it when the sun is down, if anything, that just makes it feel classier, right? There's some days in the wintertime I eat lunch and the sun's down. That's not okay. I definitely want more cards. That's a big one. I also definitely want more damage. I can't believe that one deal with the angel we got, like recently, was literally just HP. Like, I'm always happy to have a little bit more HP unless I'm capped, but at the same time, it's like we were... At the same time, we wish it was changing. I don't have, like, nasal voice anymore. I'm feeling, like, unsick for the first time in a long time. Like, I had different magnitudes of illness over this cold and flu season, but I always maintain sort of like a base level runny nose. Now I'm feeling... I mean, I don't want to do, like, a deep breath in because you're going to hear congestion, but it's not really congestion. I just have, like, a lot of nose hair. And I don't have one of those Chris Kattan trimmers from A Night at the Roxbury where you shove the Dremel into your nostril and it goes like, and takes all that. You get the idea. I don't need to go any further. People are getting grossed out. But I don't have one. I gotta use my beard trimmer, and it's like a little sensitive, honestly. Sure, I'll take... No, I won't take Guppy's head. Come on. We're one Guppy item away, which is great, but... The flies from Guppy's head are not going to do that much damage for us. We're not a damage-based dude right now. We're a DPS-based dude. I know what the D in DPS stands for. I'm just saying. You know, is the actual damage stat is not the scaling factor. Like, we've got a very high slope to our y equals mx plus b. But we've got a very low y-intercept. I'm happy with what we got, honestly. I'm contented with what we got. I don't have anything to talk about with respect to games, honestly, because Elden Ring is probably about, like, 1.75 times longer than I thought it would be. So anytime I'm like, what am I gonna play next? I have two kinds of Elden Ring streams right now. One is, wow, I made a lot of progress. I'm probably gonna be done the game soon. And then literally the next day, and this happened in the last 2 days, wow, I made a lot of progress. It's clear I'm not even close. So I still have a ways to go there. I'm looking forward. I'm still having a great time playing Elden Ring. If it weren't for, you know, my constant desire to pivot games as often as possible to maintain a sense of variety on the channel, I would probably do, like, another run. But it's very hard to fit that in with a relatively, like, you know, low volume streaming schedule right now. Given that the game itself, like, every playthrough is probably gonna... And the first one's always going to be the longest, unless you're doing some kind of challenge. But I think every playthrough is going to be, like, minimum 40 hours. So that's, like, that's a lot of dedication there. Probably much more. Maybe, like, closer to 60 for subsequent playthroughs, unless you're, you know, going very fast. Not speedrunning, because obviously the speedrun is, like, 31 minutes right now. Which is very funny in and of itself. But I always am like, wow, I must be almost done. I just found, like, a big castle. And then you go down, like, a ladder, and then you find a map, and it's like, you know, the map is actually, on the back of it, it has a picture of an elevator. You're on P2, and it says, here's what happens on, like, P15. And you're like, P15? What the heck? By the way, any key users in the chat? Anybody in the chat use keys? I could use a small loan of 4 keys to achieve items, which would raise not only my chances... I'm giving you my 10K right now. Not only my chances of winning the game, but also the chances of getting an item that would make people, quote-unquote, pog off. So I'm hoping that that might be on the horizon for us. Perhaps one of the key consumables in the game could be provided, so that we could enjoy ourselves and be happy. Wouldn't it be nice if we had permanent daylight savings time? Don't you get annoyed 2 times each year when you think you've lost your sense of mind? That's not good at all. The happy times together, we'd be steady. And for my appointments, I'd be always ready. I would have crushed... Dude, we would have already had permanent daylight savings time if I was on the lobby. They would have been like, did you hear the song? Did you hear the Beach Boys parody of Wouldn't It Be Nice, open parentheses, if we didn't do daylight savings time every year? I could filibuster the Senate for that. That wouldn't bother me at all. Like, honestly, I feel like I could get a lot of votes across the aisle for a daylight savings time repeal so easily. You know what I would do? I would walk up to the podium. It would have to be the day after the clock change, and I would just walk up and say, "Who needs it, man? You watch the news lately? You're seeing all the stuff that's going on in the world. War, gas prices, financial contagion, literal contagions. Do we want to be changing our clocks, or do we want to be hugging our kids?" And they would probably, I believe that there would be a standing ovation. Maybe the longest one ever recorded in the House of Representatives. They would probably try to name me president for life, which I would have to refuse because it goes against my principles. I'm a strong believer in term limits. And then I would walk out a king, which does not go against my principles. I would just, you know, rescind my crown after, I don't know, like 60 or 70 terms. Anyway, Who needs it? Like that, you don't need any more argument than that. All you need to say is, you know, you just need to tell it how it is. Just mean what you say what you mean. If you could just blow up and act like you ain't know nobody. I will say positive things about this run. Always love when soy milk works out. Also, always love a run that's like almost exactly 35, 40 minutes. That's the dream length, man. Enough time to sink your teeth into, but not exhausting. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!